Hello everyone, it's your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black the one and only, here with another exciting video. If you guys jump in that description box below, you can watch Ben 10 Season 3 Episode 1 for free online at Kim Cartoon. We have a link in the description down below. We also have included in the description the script that I'll be going over. I do read scripts for these summary videos just to make sure that I don't mix anything up. In today's video, we are going to be covering Ben 10 Season 3 Episode 1. This Ben 10 in particular that we're referring to is the new rebooted Ben 10 series. So the Ben 10 series that came out in the last couple years, so the 2016 series, not to be confused with the original Ben 10 series. That's not what we're talking about today. In today's video, we're going to go over the changes made to the theme song in Season 3. Not the song itself, but the beginning intro. They've changed a few things around. Then after that, we're going to summarize the plot of this episode, episode 1 of Season 3 of the reboot of Ben 10. And then after that, I'll give you my thoughts and opinions, essentially a review of Ben 10 Season 3 Episode 1. Like I said, the link to watch it for free is in the description box below. So if you want to watch it for free now, feel free to hit that up, and then you can come back to this video and see my summary and review. If you haven't seen it yet, you don't have to watch it because this video summarizes what happens in it. So you can just watch this video, I'll give you the summary, and then you guys can just check out my review right afterwards. And it's all one video. I didn't split this into multiple videos so you can get it all in one package. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. So in the opening theme, we see Ben wearing the Omnitrix as it appeared at the end of Season 2, which is a nice change that they didn't necessarily have to make, because not everyone's looking for that. Ben's lineup of aliens has changed, so if you thought you knew what aliens were in Ben's Omnitrix as of the end of Season 2, you may have been right, you may have been wrong. More likely than not, you're wrong, because we have straight up new aliens as well as old favorites from other Ben 10 series now making their way into Ben's current Omnitrix. So without further ado, let's go over Ben's new lineup of aliens. Number 1, he has forearms, which, forearms is classic. 2, heat blast. 3, accelerate. 4, diamond head. 5, cannonbolt. 6, shock rock. 7, slapback. Slapback is one of his new aliens who appears to have cloning based abilities based on how he appears in the intro. Then we got 8, wrath. Wrath being a returning alien from a previous series. He's kind of like a big and beefy humanoid tiger guy who has retractable claws, and he acts like a professional wrestler. Wrath is a lot of people's personal favorite, so I'm sure plenty of people are hyped to see Wrath. Next up, we got 9, Humungousaur. Humungousaur originally was in the Alien Force series, and he's a dinosaur man who can grow to massive sizes. So Humungousaur was another popular character that they've now brought into this season. And then finally, 10, Stinkfly. So in case you lost track, the new aliens are Slapback, who appears to have cloning-based abilities, Wrath, who is a returning alien from a previous series, and Humungousaur, who's also a returning alien from a previous series. Also, I'm glad that we got to keep Shock Rock. Shock Rock is one of my favorite new aliens, so I'm glad that he's still here. I'm curious if we're still going to have Omni-enhanced aliens or not. That hasn't necessarily been confirmed or denied yet, so we'll see about that. Let's take a moment of silence for our boys Gray Matter, Upgrade, Overflow, and Wildvine, who didn't make the cut onto the Season 3 Omnitrix. Moving on from that, I actually was thinking that Upgrade was going to come back. I didn't expect Gray Matter to leave at all. Omni-enhanced Gray Matter was great. He was strong and he was smart. Overflow and Wildvine aren't really that interesting. I think Overflow's Ben 10 Alien Worlds description, where they describe the planet he comes from, that's cool. I want to learn more about where Overflow comes from. If they ever do a season in space, they need to go to his planet because it was dope. Wildvine, I didn't really care for his design in the new series. Ben hasn't really done anything cool with Wildvine, and Wildvine's Ben 10 Alien Worlds thing was they're thrill seekers and they ride weird motorbikes. Until Ben gets one of those weird motorbikes, there's no reason for him to be Wildvine. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure if this was always the case, but the Tennyson family now take a selfie during the intro, which I thought was a fun touch. They're all doing goofy faces. We also have a new title card showing the current Omnitrix lineup of aliens, which I thought was pretty cool. So let's go over the plot of Ben 10 Season 3, Episode 1. Ben hasn't been able to access the Omnitrix since it's rebooted. Ben claims it's been 5 days since the reboot, meaning this episode takes place 5 days after the events of the Season 2 finale. This also implies that if OKKO Let's Be Heroes crossover Nexus is canon, then it must have taken place after the events of the first episode of Season 3. In case you're not familiar with what I'm talking about when I talk about OKKO, OKKO Let's Be Heroes is another show that's on Cartoon Network. They had an episode called Crossover Nexus, where they crossed over with a bunch of different shows on Cartoon Network, including Ben 10. And in the Crossover Nexus crossover, Ben 10 has the new Omnitrix, the Omnitrix as it is after the events of Season 2, meaning this Omnitrix that we're seeing in Season 3. Now, the reason why I'm bringing it up is just in that crossover episode, Ben uses the Omnitrix in order to transform into forms, which implies that he wasn't locked out, which means that it must have taken place after this first episode. But enough sidebar, I'm getting a little off topic, let's get back into the summary. Grandpa Max has been letting Ben and Gwen more or less goof off while he's been busy doing something secret. When Ben and Gwen get back, they're surprised by the reappearance of Phil, a character who was introduced in a previous season who seemed to know way too much about alien technology. Phil and Grandpa Max have been working on the Rust Copter, a giant helicopter attachment that will allow the Rust Bucket to travel through the skies. Gwen gets excited about the possibility of traveling the world and bumps into Ben. Then, like a Rube Goldberg machine, Ben then bumps into Phil, who happens to have a device that looks like a sonic screwdriver from Doctor Who. The sonic screwdriver interacts with the Omnitrix, making it once again accessible to Ben. Ben immediately, upon regaining access to the Omnitrix, realizes that he's unlocked new alien forms. Ben and Gwen play rock, paper, scissors to decide whether or not they should focus on the Rust Copter or Ben's new aliens. Gwen wins the rock, paper, scissors contest, and the Tennyson family take their first test flight in the Rust Copter. Meanwhile, Steam Smythe is talking to a mysterious voice over the radio while flying high in the sky in a steampunk blimp. The voice seems to know that the Tennysons are on their way and is testing Steam Smythe to see if he can defeat them. Ben sneaks into the cargo hold of the Rust Copter and transforms into Slapback for the first time. Ben quickly realizes that Slapback isn't very strong. He successfully lifts a large metal crate, but it takes a lot of effort and immediately throws him off balance. When Slapback falls backwards due to losing his balance, he splits in two, creating a clone of himself. His clones are twice as strong, double the weight, but half the size of his original body. Each clone seems to think independently of the other, allowing them to have conversations with each other. The two Slapbacks start messing around in the cargo hold, causing the Rust Copter to begin to wobble and shake in the air. A metal ceiling tile falls on both of the Slapbacks, causing them to split into 4 smaller clones. Grandpa Max and Phil discover what Ben has been up to, and everyone votes for what the name of Ben's new alien should be. At first, there's a tie between the Slapbacks, who don't want to be called Slapback, and everyone else who thinks Slapback would be a cool name. But then, one of the Slapbacks sides with Grandpa, Gwen, and Phil on choosing the name Slapback. Another Slapback calls the one who went against the others a traitor, and they begin to play fight, causing the Rust Copter to start diving out of control. Max overcompensates, pulling up on the steering wheel to get the Rust Copter to not crash into something. But by doing so, it causes the Rust Copter to fly straight into the air, knocking Gwen and the Slapbacks backwards in the cargo hold. When the Slapback clones fall into each other, it causes them to reform into 2 large clones. Ben learns his lesson and forms back into a single clone, realizing that it was reckless for him to have tried out a new alien while in a flying RV. The Rust Copter barely misses crashing into Steam Smythe's blimp before Max regains control. Max says to Phil that the experience reminds him of old times, which could be hinting toward Max's history as a plumber being introduced into the reboot. So far, Max hasn't really shown any alien knowledge or the idea that he might have been a plumber in the past, so it just seemed like in the Reboot series that they weren't going to have plumbers. I feel like the more we dive into Phil, and the more we dive into stuff like the Rustcopter, we're going to see Grandpa Max maybe start to lean more into a history with the plumbers, who knows? Or maybe a twist. We'll get into that a little bit later. So, Ben turns back to normal just as the Rustcopter is attacked by Steam Smythe. Steam Smythe's blimp releases a series of air mines to block the Rustcopter's path. Afraid that he might turn into a new alien who could possibly make things worse, Ben turns into Cannonbolt and rockets into action. At first I was like, Cannonbolt? What has Ben planning to do as Cannonbolt? He's in the sky. He has to get to a blimp, and the blimp is all the way over there. Like, I don't know what he's going to do. Well, what Cannonbolt does is he uses the air mines to propel himself through the air to make his way onto Steam Smythe's blimp. So if you ever played a Sonic video game, like a 3D Sonic game, Sonic can do like a homing dash where he dashes into a robot, and then when the robot explodes, Sonic pops into the air, and then he can homing dash into another robot. Cannonbolt essentially does that to make his way through all the different air mines. When Cannonbolt does land onto Steam Smythe's blimp, he blasts through the balloon of the blimp, just very quickly ending the fight, because once the balloon of the blimp is popped, the blimp just starts crashing down into the ground. Luckily, Steam Smythe, even though he's defeated, is safely carried through the sky by one of his robots, so he doesn't just like die. Ben doesn't just straight up kill him. Ben actually takes the time to put Steam Smythe in the arms of one of Steam Smythe's robots before he pops the blimp to make sure that Steam Smythe is safe. Oddly enough, he doesn't just grab Steam Smythe to arrest him, which is what he could have tried to do. But I don't know. Maybe Steam Smythe didn't technically do a crime. I think he did. Putting air mines in the sky is essentially assault. He attempted murder even. He tried to kill them. So Ben let him off easy. Anyways, when Ben gets back to the Rustcopter, it is made clear that Ben has become a lot more mature as of recent, and that he has more or less mastered his original aliens. In the final scene of the episode, the mysterious villain who Steam Smythe was talking to is revealed to be a Forever Knight, introducing Forever Knights into the Reboot continuity. So, after all that, here's my review of Ben 10 Season 3, Episode 1. This episode was a lot of fun and introduces many new elements to the series. I believe that Phil, more likely than not, is secretly working with the Forever Knights, and that maybe he's a retired plumber. That, or they could be hinting at Grandpa Max having a history with the Forever Knights. That would actually be a cool twist. The idea that Max and Phil may have been Forever Knights, but now they've moved beyond that, and they're like good guys now, and they put all that behind them. I don't know. This is just a theory of mine, so we'll have to wait and see if this is confirmed by later episodes in the season. I am curious to discover what happened to Glitch, as I originally believed that he was going to become a member of Team Tennyson this season, based on the season finale of Season 2. I also would like to know if Ben is going to react to the loss of some of his original aliens, and how he will adapt to Raph and Humungousaur being added to the Omnitrix, considering that Slapback gave him a little bit of trouble. It seems like this new episode is setting the tone for a season where the Tennysons will travel not just around the country, but around the world, as Ben experiments with his new alien forms, matures, and faces off against the new Forever Knight threat. I'm excited to see what's next for Team Tennyson. What were your thoughts on the first episode of Season 3 of the new Ben 10 Reboot series? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you haven't watched the episode yet, feel free to jump in the description box below where we have a link where you can watch the latest episode of this Ben 10 season now. Anyways, thank you all once again for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that notification bell so you're notified whenever we do these videos. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, logging out. Thank you all for tuning in. Peace.